Welcome back to All the Gear. Today on All the Gear, we're going to be barrel aging this. This is 37.5 litres of 60% rum. Today I'm going to walk you through the seasoning process that I undertook for this barrel, and we're going to be filling it up in preparation for aging rum in an oak barrel. I'll be releasing a 3D print that you can print at home to stand your barrel on, as well as designing custom barrel labels for my barrels for the Hinterland Distillery project. Okay, so in the last video in this series, we used the plastic Polyphenix modular still to distill all of this rum. I started with 50 litres of about 40% stripped rum. I'd done a bunch of fermentations to get to that point, using the recipe that I covered in my how to make rum video. However, I have tweaked the recipe because I found that it enabled me to get a slightly higher alcohol percentage and utilize more of the dunder as well. So there's going to be a little bit of content in this video, including the 3D printable stand that this barrel is actually sitting on that is going to be available on my Patreon. So this barrel is a Tasmanian Tiger Cooperage ex-Tasmanian whiskey barrel that I picked up. It costs quite a lot actually, and essentially we need to season it to put the rum into it, otherwise it may just leak everywhere. And I don't really want that to happen with my hard work for product. And I just want to show you quickly, I needed a way to store this barrel that was on its side so that we could, you know, fill it up. I actually went and designed these 3D printable, they're barrel bases essentially. I measured the OD, outer diameter, and designed something that matched it with the appropriate drafting so that it would contour with the barrel. This design will be available on my Patreon, which will be linked in the description of this video. And that just allows us to place our barrel down on a flat surface without it rolling away, like so. Now, I understand that not all barrels are the same OD. So if you do go on my Patreon, this is a 400 millimeter OD. I've made it to these 400 millimeter bands, and it sits perfectly on those bands. However, if you need a specific OD made up, that is a service that I'm willing to provide to, you know, Patreons, because it's not really that hard for me to adjust that outer diameter size, and then once I've made it, it's available for everyone. If you do want a specific diameter, I can probably do that for you. Let's get to seasoning this barrel. So to season the barrel, there's a few ways that you can do it. You can soak the barrel completely in water. You can fill the barrel with hot water, 50 to 60 degrees, or you can just straight up fill it with spirit and have a collection plate underneath it so that if you lose any, you can reintroduce the spirit. If you fill it with water, you'll probably lose some flavor. It's quite a small barrel for me. I'm actually more worried about over oaking my rum for 2 years. I'm not worried at all about losing any flavor. So the way that I'm going to season this barrel is by adding hot water into it in a place that I don't really mind it leaking. And hopefully it just doesn't leak from the get-go. It may well leak. I've just got to be prepared for that. We're going to measure the water that's going in. Now, the reason we need to know how much spirit we need to introduce into the barrel is because you want as little surface area as possible so the angel's cut is minimized. So let's do that. Okay, so we are here in my bathroom. I'm just going to fill it up 5 litres at a time. It's only 30 litres, so it should only take 6 of these. Oh, it has the most incredible whiskey smell to it. I'm actually a little bit sad that I'm going to be washing a little bit of that out. And we have a funnel for the top. Just going to add the water in. Our water is at 58 degrees Celsius. That is 30 litres. I reckon we've got another 5 litres to go. This is going over the 30. Okay, we are like dead level full. That is fantastic. And so far, we don't have any leaks, which is surprising. It took an extra 7.5 litres. So this is actually a 37 litre barrel. There's no leaks. So You can see there, it's completely full. Fantastic. I'm gonna leave this though. This is gonna stay for a couple days, or at least a day. Pop that on top. This means I know how much rum I need, 37.5 liters. Okay, so on the table in front of me, I have the cuts. Now, the cuts are these 3 jars, and these 2 demijohns. I'm gonna remove the other ones. These are faints and they're alcohol cleaner. So I'll just put those aside. Now, I've also got this barrel strength rum as well that I can use to top up the barrel if I need to, because this has been aging just on ex oakers, but they're French oak. So they'll match the barrel and it'll allow me to just top it up to the full quantity if I don't have enough. If I don't use it, I'm not particularly fast either. What I've got to do now is I've got to combine all these together. I'm aiming for a percentage of about 65% for barrel strength. Above 65%, you get some spicy notes, and below 65%, you get more vanilla notes, and it sort of gradients in that fashion. So let's combine all of our hearts together, take an alcohol reading, then I'll figure out how much water I need to add to it to get it back down to 65%. That was my favorite jar. That's the caramel jar. So let's take the measurement. All right, about 76.8 alcohol percentage of our rum. This is about 20 liters. I just need to add 2 liters of water to this, and that's gonna give me the alcohol percentage that I want. I'm just gonna add 1 liter at a time and just test it as I go, because you can't take it out once you've put it in. 73, so we can add the rest in. I can add in more water. Another 2 liters I'll grab. I should add that my water is like the purest water you can get. It's hinterland country rainwater. The ppm is almost unregisterable because it's so clean. I'm really lucky because it gives me a really clean slate to work with for my hydroponics as well as distilling. It looks like it's going to be about 25 liters, and I have another 10 liters to add, which is going to be almost dead on the bloody money. 63.7. And I'm just going to measure this one. It's at 57.7. So together, we're going to get somewhere right in the middle towards the high end of that. So it's probably going to be about 60%, maybe a little bit more. I'll test it in the barrel once it's mixed, because I don't have a big enough jug to mix them both. So just in case you haven't seen it, this is the rum that I made in my first how to make rum video. So this entire process, this entire barrel, you can see me make it online, which is pretty bloody cool. And in the future, when the Hinterland Distillery project is 100% live and I'm selling alcohol, not just making it, you'll be able to buy one if you want. So I'll leave a link in the description, and if you're watching this video in a couple years time, you can probably buy this rum. That's pretty cool, I think, right? We can now wait for the barrel. I'm just gonna leave it for a day to make sure there's no leaks, and then we can add these in. All right, so it's the next day and we have absolutely no leaks. I'm very happy. We have gone down about ½ an inch below the level that we're at, which is fine. That would just be from the wood absorbing water. I'm gonna empty this out. We can take it down to the studio and introduce our rum. All right, it is now time to introduce our rum to our barrel, which is super exciting stuff. There has been so much effort involved in getting to this point, and I've still got 2 years to go, but it's definitely gonna be worth it. I don't think I can fill it up on here, and I don't really want to. What I do want to do is I want to test the alcohol percentage that's in the barrel now, because I had 2 different percentages just go in. Just going to take some of our rum and we'll run it through our easy dens. So we are at 60% alcohol in our barrel. Fantastic. All right, so we'll just tap the bung in. And of course, I got a little bit excited last night because this is my first barreling. So I got onto CAD and designed this. This is a 3D printable barrel label. So I used the multicolor capabilities of the Bamboo Lab printers to design this barrel label, which I then printed in white and black to give me a really nicely presented barrel labeling scheme. I've just standardized it so that I can make as many as I like for future barrels as well. As you can see, it was distilled on the 11th of the 9th, 24, barreled 15th of the 9th, 24. Percentage is 60%. It's an ex-whiskey, ex-sherry barrel. So let's put this onto our barrel. So I've just got a bit of double-sided tape on the back of it, and we can label our barrel. And there it is. That is how I barreled my first batch of rum. Now, if you're watching this video to use in the future, check the links in the description because you might be able to buy it at this point, just so that you can try what you've seen in a different way. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode of All the Gear, and I hope I've left you with some ideas. Happy barreling, and I'll see you next time on All the Gear.